crazy. But I think one model is different from the other.
They look the same when I go in.
Yeah. One is a 95. The other one is, what is that? Oh, here, I was just looking at it. It says here, 7,000. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is for four-door sedan Elantra.
Yeah, okay. We don't have that one, right?
Yeah. So basically, 9590 would be the buyout for each of them. Yeah, 9590.
Hi, QB.
Hi, guys. Sorry, I'm just on. I just want to get on because it was having a hard time the last time. So
I know. Yeah, and same here, because, you know, we're all new to this, so we're all good.
Sure. Thanks, JT. Let me go get let me use the restroom real quick. So okay.
Okay.
I told you the 2019.
Miss Marie, I just got an email from Chief Appraisal.
The last
So
one.
it looks like that Palomo Estate, they finished the appraisal.
Cute.
So
We don't need to hear what's going on in her office.
2019 is 200,000 lapse funds. Okay, and then I told you if we get the 179 for 2020, we will reach 200,000 also.
So we're hovering around too.
Yeah. But our allotments have been on schedule. They've been giving us 181.8, which is basically the full appropriation divided by 26. We're up to date on that, but I don't know what's going to happen.
When did we get our last allotment, Chuck?
Last week.
In
Really?
April, yes.
Last week. I saw an allotment. I forwarded it to you.
Yes.
Are they sending it electronically or is that a?
Yes,
Electronic.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I'm gonna go over to where Felicia's at and turn
Turn
on
her on, right?
the Zoom live. Steve, you can hear us, right? Oh, Steve, you're on mute. Steve, can you hear us?
No, I can
Okay.
definitely hear everybody.
Okay, good. Just testing.
I can hear as well.
Good.
Who's on the top?
John Morrison, that's QB. We muted Cubes.
Oh.
Kathy, I see Kate.
Kate is in. Yeah.
Kathy Moylan's in.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Is the YouTube already running?
Probably.
Oh yeah, it's live on YouTube. Oh,
Where do I chime in for the YouTube? Just go to YouTube and GDSC?
I don't know. They gave us a link on management team.
Oh, they did. How much do you think the warranty for the car would be for a year? Is it yearly?
That we
The warranty, but the warranty isn't it for new vehicles?
no, you knew, but that they won't warranty that.
They won't, right?
No.
It's gonna be
It's
too
done.
old. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, let's
basically,
just see what they say. Right?
but if we are gonna purchase, I'd rather purchase that. It's
And
still,
what's right.
it's still in great condition, I
Oh.
believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It should last us another 2 to 3 years without major problems if they take care of it. Hey, who's that? Rob is in.
Staying in for the whole day?
I'm sorry?
You staying in for the whole day?
Yes. Well, until about 5 or whatever time.
Hi, Steve. Hi, everybody.
Well, good afternoon.
Hi, Your
Hi.
Honor.
Hi, Kathy. Is JT on
He's here.
on the
He's
line?
here. Yeah, but he just went up front to set up the computer that we're going to use for anybody who comes into our lobby. So
Okay.
he should be right back. I'm sure. Here he is.
Sorry, I was starting the Zoom,
Okay.
the public's watching on Zoom, on YouTube.
All
We got
right.
the YouTube live working.
Excellent. Oh, really? Good. JT, I'd like for you to make me a co-host.
I am doing that right now. Yes. Okay. And you are the co-host now, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. That way I can bring up the documents. So I see we have Mike, Kathy, Steve, QB,
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
John, and Catherine. And also, yeah, Kathleen Moylan, and who's Rob?
He's our investigator, public defender.
Robbie
Okay.
called.
We call.
Robbie
Yeah.
called.
Well, like, hello, glad to meet you. Okay, and so let me see who, we're waiting
I'm-
for,
Your Honor, I'm calling Donna,
Okay.
Trustee Donna Kanata, so that we have quorum.
correct.
She's
We
trying to
want-
get in. Hurry up, girl. We're waiting for you. We're all waiting.
Tell her that's why we practice.
Okay. Donna says she still has 2 minutes. Okay, we're all waiting for you.
Okay, all right.
Oh, the meeting number.
You want to WhatsApp it to her?
Yeah, we'll WhatsApp it to you. Donna, we'll WhatsApp it to you. I'm gonna get off the phone and we'll WhatsApp it to you. You
Is
still have a
she-
minute left. You have a minute.
Kathy, is she on a laptop? Is she on a laptop? 'Cause remember we-
Yeah, she's trying to get on
all she needs
on
to
a
do,
laptop. So,
Okay,
click on JT's invitation
yeah, on the email.
on the email. That's all she needs to do.
let me
But-
just call her back. I think that could be her, right? Tell me it's her.
That's Jackie.
Oh, hi, Jackie.
Oh,
Hi,
Jackie.
Jackie.
Congratulations.
I'm gonna unmute you, Jackie.
Much.
Yeah, I just unmuted
Let
you.
me have the number. They just said if you went to JT,
Congratulations.
sent you,
Just click on the
you
link.
click on the link and it'll get you right
Now,
in.
is it a baby boy?
A baby boy. Here, let me show you.
Okay, half a day. What's
Yeah.
There's the baby.
He's working.
We emailed you. Get on it. If you went back
Jackie,
to
what's his
your
name?
email.
His name is Augustine
August.
Joseph, after St. Augustine.
Oh, that's nice. And that's number.
Yeah, it just has the link. And all you
Number
need to do is
8.
just click on
Number
it and they're on.
Okay.
Hard to keep up, I know.
Well, congratulations and welcome.
Oh, are
Thanks,
you
CJ.
guys using the phone? Oh, you guys are using the
Thanks,
phone?
CJ, appreciate it.
Oh, you're using her WhatsApp on the computer then, right?
We're waiting for Donna. She's having some issues logging in. And the PJ,
Okay.
PJ said he was going to log in.
Okay, no problem, I'm here.
We sent her the invite via email. Yeah. Hi, Daisy Donna Rita.
So are you at home or in your office, Jackie?
I'm at the office today.
Oh, okay.
You know, us small businesses, we still have to do our financials.
Oh, okay. What,
I
did
can
you
I
take
also
advantage
send
of the
can I also
SBA
send her-
PPP loan?
No, I did not fast enough, you know, I just had a baby.
Yeah,
So by
Okay,
the time
great,
I could
Presiding
get
Judge
stuff
is with-
together.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for me.
half a day, PJ?
Ah,
Today, CJ.
You are getting to be such a professional in this.
Well, we've had at least 3 meetings.
We're working with the trial court to reopen the trial court using virtual hearings. Hi, Annie, and I see Audrey in the background.
Hi, Your Honor.
Okay,
What
BJ,
email did you send it to?
we're just waiting for Donna to,
Donna.
she's having some issues.
Send it to both. Send it to both. Okay, you have it.
No worries, thanks, we appreciate it. Is she on? Everybody else is on, we're just waiting for her. That's fine, that's fine, we don't care whose name it's under, we're just all waiting for her. So it's under Nick, Nikki,
We should have had one more practice.
Nicole is, do you see us, Nick? I don't see you
No,
here.
she's not there yet.
No, we'll hear, I, as a host, will hear a bell ring if they're logged in and she's not, a chime ring.
Just
Yeah.
verifying the meeting. We want both, we want video and audio.
You should change the name though.
No worries, we're all good.
Okay, there she is.
Nico, you're in, thank you. Bye.
All
Okay,
right. Okay, let me make sure that Nikki's.
The young IT.
Okay, I just unmuted you, Donna. I just, okay, you're on mute. And you're on mute. Okay, you're live now, Donna. Don't worry, you look great. Oh, you're.
Toggle
Okay.
EPAN, okay? Sorry. We
No,
had
no.
our IT person down here yesterday, and it's been really crazy. I don't think Nikki had a fun day yesterday
Okay,
with
well,
him.
you're coming in.
Docomo was here yesterday.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, first of all, good afternoon, everyone. And I'm going to, in due time, properly call the roll because we're doing this by video conference. But just that we have the PJ on the line and we have Donna Munya Kanata, and we have Jackie Terlahi, Cynthia Ekubi, and those are the board members and myself, right? Okay. Then, as you can see on the screen, we have other staff members. Steve Hattori is there. Kathy and Mike Moreno is also Audrey on the line with Annie's on the line with Audrey, and we have some staff people. Okay, I'm going to just bring up. I'm going to bring up the agenda, and then we can properly, so let me enlarge this a bit. Okay, so does everyone see the agenda on the screen?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Yes.
And so,
Yes, Your Honor.
okay, we are, let me see, did we have the board resolution amending the rules to provide for video conferencing?
That's on page 4. I'm sorry, that's on page 10.
Page 10. Okay, let me just bring that up. And okay, I know we got let me just reduce this. And so it's so what we have here, and we're going to have to adopt this, and so and therefore this is going to allow us to do video conferencing by this meeting by video conference. But and this will also allow us to properly take the roll and modify the way that requires the actual presence in the boardroom. So I know it's a kind of out of order, but this, we need to do this at the outset. So I'm going to, before I even call the roll, that doesn't make sense. So let us just go back and call the roll, and then we will ratify our actions once we amend this. I apologize. Let me do that. So at this time, I'm going to start. This meeting is called to order. We are going to call the roll in accordance with a resolution we're going to adopt amending the bylaws of the Public Defender Service Corporation, which will allow for having a board meeting via video conference. And then we'll go back and ratify our action. And so for the record, this is Philip Carbolito, and I am participating in this board meeting in my home at Nimitz Hill. And at this time, I'm going to ask the presiding judge, I will acknowledge you, and if you can acknowledge your presence and where you're calling in.
I'm the presiding judge, La Morena. I'm calling in from Dorido.
And Ms. Donna?
I'm Donna Muñequinata, and I'm calling from my home in Ipan, Talafofo.
And QB, Cynthia, can you unmute yourself?
This is Cynthia Cubey, and I'm calling from my office in Hagåtña.
And Jackie Terlahi, if you can acknowledge your presence and where you're calling in from.
Yes, Jacqueline Terlahi, Guam Bar President, calling in from Hagåtña, Guam at my office.
All right, and at this time, I am going to ask that we go out of sequence in reference to the agenda, and I'm going to ask if the members have had the chance to look at the resolution, which amends our bylaws and that allows for the video conferencing that is authorized under Guam law, and also the recent executive order of the governor regarding the COVID-19 emergency circumstance. So is there a motion to adopt this resolution?
So
Motion,
move
sir.
to,
Sorry.
okay, so move to adopt resolution 5-20 for
All right.
purpose of discussion for vote.
Okay, it's been moved by the presiding judge for discussion purposes, and it's been seconded by Ms. Donna. So any discussion on this resolution? There being none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the ayes have it, and it's been unanimously adopted. At this point, I am going to go back and ask for a motion for the record to ratify the roll call that was taken out of turn prior to the adoption of this motion. And so PJ, I would like if we could have a motion to ratify taking the roll call out of turn prior to the adoption of this resolution.
So move.
Is there a second to that motion?
Oh, so sorry, QB.
That's
All
okay.
right.
Go ahead, Donna.
Attorney Cynthia Ekubi. Any discussion on the motion? There being none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay, so the ayes have it. We are, this meeting is a duly called meeting. I ascertain that there is a quorum present and that we are, it's in order for us to conduct our business today. All right, so the first item on the agenda pertains to the notice of meeting. There's a record that a 5 working day notice was posted and that we had the 48 hours notice. Although there's been some relaxation of the notice requirement under the executive order, I had instructed the staff that we are going to duly notice this meeting in the spirit of the open government law and they have complied. In order to satisfy the public purpose of the meeting, we have a monitor, JT, as I understand, in the lobby area for any public member that wishes to observe the meeting of the corporation, that
Yes,
they're
sir.
able to do
Yeah,
so.
yes, sir, that's set up.
Did I understand you correctly that we were able to already start the live stream on our YouTube channel?
Yes, that is correct, Your Honor.
Excellent. That's I'm very happy to hear that. So we are streaming live. What is the title of the channel, JT, that we are streaming live on?
Well, I have a link and I sent it out to our staff. I was still trying to figure out the link part because it changes as the meeting starts.
All right.
So, but at the lobby area, that's where they are watching the this meeting right now, and it's on YouTube Live.
All right. And all right. And JT, have you started recording this to the cloud?
Yes, it's recording right now.
All right. So we are being recorded under the Zoom platform, and is both the video and the audio, and we are streaming live, so we are all set. All right. At this time, I've determined that there is a quorum present. The approval of the minutes, and I can go down and there's the notice, and these are the minutes from. Is this the minutes from the last meeting, the regular minutes or special minutes?
Regular.
The regular meeting. Okay. Is there? I'm sorry, I didn't have a chance to review these minutes. Is there a motion to adopt the minutes subject to corrections?
I'll make that motion.
This did not have to do with any executive session, right?
I think it did.
Okay, so if that's the case, because I understand there are some issues, PJ, can we dispense of this matter until the May meeting, in which we can focus in on the activities relating to this minutes and focus on the approval of the budgets, which is what is the focus of today's board meeting, so we can transmit the budget of both the public defender and the APD. Is there any objection to that?
Yeah, I have no objections since 3 of our members are new, including the chairman, Ms. Kubi and Ms. Kanata. So I'll give you a chance for the new members to review the minutes.
Okay, I appreciate that. So would that be a motion to defer until the next board meeting?
Yes, I'll make a motion to defer the approval of the minutes until the May or June meeting.
All right, we'll make it to May for it to be listed, and then we can take it accordingly. And is there a second to that motion to defer?
I can second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion on the motion to defer the adoption of the minute? There being none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye.
Okay, the ayes have it, and it's been adopted. All right, we'll go back to the agenda. Actually, Kathy, I really like the one document, so much easier than me going back and forth on our judicial council meeting, sharing new documents. So I'm going to do this for our judicial council meeting. Anyway, that's an aside. And so all business, we have a financial status regarding update and allotment releases. And I'm sorry, I'm new to, this is my first meeting, and so I don't know who's going to report on this. Is this Mike Moreno?
Yes.
Yes, sir. I'll be reporting. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right,
Since October, since the beginning of the fiscal year, we have been receiving allotments on a regular basis after every pay period of 181,800, which is the full total appropriation divided by 26 pay periods. We are on time. We just received our last allotment last week, so we are on time as far as at 92%. For domestic violence program, what we term as DVP 2017, the program in itself, it is supposed to expire June 30th, but we had expended all funds as of January. We have submitted projections to the governor's office, and they are working on it towards us receiving a reprogrammed amount, which will suffice up till June 30th. We have not received any word yet as of today, but we are keeping in constant contact with the governor's office. For APD, we have received 2 quarters of allotments. We will be issuing an invoice and delivering it to the judiciary within this month for the 3rd quarter. And that is the report on allotments.
All right, and so, but the judiciary is up to date, and it's just that the next allotment installment is not due as of this date. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right. Well, it's good news, certainly that the PD's allotment releases is on schedule with all that is happening around us. That is always a concern, but I'm very happy to hear that. Are there any questions from the board members to Mr. Moreno in reference to his presentation? All right, so we're going to go now to new business, and this is the agenda for the Public Defender Service Corporation. And let me, this summary needs to be updated per Kathy. And so let me share a new document that was just sent a few minutes ago. Okay, I shouldn't have done that. And let me do this. And let me, this summary, I think, Kathy, is this the correct summary? Look at the bottom line.
Yeah.
This is the correct.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I had just received this. I only saw it a few minutes actually before we went live. And so, who's going to present for the public defender? And if you, I think it'd be easier if we can use this as an overview, and then we can go into whatever details the members wish to ask.
Good afternoon, Chief Justice and Board of Trustees. Welcome aboard. This is Stephen Ettore. I'm sorry we couldn't all meet in person, but given the circumstances, I'm glad we're able to meet at all. So as you can see, you know, our agency really has been, we've proven to be very frugal over the years. Let me give you a little historic background. In FY 2017, our budget approved by the legislature was only an increase of $22,000 from the prior year. In FY 2018, it was actually $364 less than what we were appropriated the year before. In 2019, the legislature gave us basically $2,797 more than in FY 2018. And in FY 2020, we were approved for $380,238, which is really the largest increase we've had in like 5 years. And but it was still less than the $132,000 less than we requested. Now today, for FY 2021, we are seeking $5,134,048. Is that, unless that's an amended amount?
That's an amended amount, but we'll go over the
provide that. But that increase is about 9% above our current year appropriation. And while we do not know what the future holds, it is safe to assume that the FY 2021 budget will be based upon an overall decrease in projected governmental revenues. We will make the appropriate cuts when such time is inevitable. So the budget we propose today will ensure that we can meet all the requirements that we anticipate facing in the next year, including the seating of an 8th judge. It will also allow us to fill our social worker position that was funded last year, but we've actually frozen that position because We were informed that the executive branch might withhold 179,000 from our budget to help pay for the quarantine expenses that the government's currently incurring. We don't know if they're actually gonna take that amount as of yet. So we're not gonna fill that position until we are certain that layoffs will not occur. And so Gary, Kathy's gonna go over the specifics, but there are two things that I just wanna point out. One is last year we received authorization to hire retired attorneys. There is a continuing shortage of attorneys available to hire on Guam, and still fewer that are willing or able to do criminal defense work. Last year's budget bill was the first time that we were given that opportunity. I think the alternate public defender, the judiciary, were also given that opportunity as well. And I know APD also benefited from it. And so we're gonna ask the legislature to renew this provision again, and that provision is found in section 19, chapter 11 of Public Law 3336. And then something the board will address later on is under 12 GCA chapter 11, this office has the duty to represent all indigent defendants in criminal matters. Unfortunately, conflicts of interest arise. And in April of 2004, a predecessor board created the alternate public defender office to handle those conflicts. And that's board resolution 08-04. Historically, APD has been under the budget and auspices of the Judicial Council. We would like to remedy this by having the legislature appropriate APD's budget along with our own. That way it'll be taken out of the judiciary's budget, and it's been kind of inflating the judiciary's budget all these years. This of course has pros and cons. However, at the end of the day, it is better that APD be identified in the budget bill as a separate line item appropriation. I think in the last 3 years, APD wasn't contained in the actual budget bill. And so as a creature of the Public Defender Service Corporation Board and as an office is both necessary and effective to handle conflicts to effectuate our statutory and constitutional duties, this board should have direct oversight of APD as opposed to the Judicial Council. So that's the other resolution I think the board's going to address later. Now, Kathy Gokwe will address the specifics of our budget proposal. Thank you.
Okay, Your Honor, thank you for putting up the BD1 summary. This is the new summary that we went over all our numbers, and this is what we would like to present to the legislature. So for the board members, the BD1 summary takes in all our 11 divisions that we have and puts our numbers up on this summary form. So what we're proposing to ask for FY 2021 is summarized in the BD1. And so if you folks on page 13, which is no longer relevant, that was what we sent you folks out for the BD1, our summary, but we would like to use this. And you'll see that there is a difference of about $2,000 that we're requesting for FY 2021. And so I'll go through, we also provided the budget summary digest to you folks yesterday. And it will go over, if you refer to the summary that's on the screen, we'll go through each line item so you'll know why we're asking for the increases we're asking for FY 21. Are we okay? Can I go on?
Yes.
Okay, so the first section of the budget summary is personnel. So what we're asking for in total for personnel is $4,505,040. And that would be a 6% increase. And if you folks look at the supporting documents within the budget digest that we had sent you, you'll see in the 11 sections, we have highlighted in blue for the proposed staffing pattern, positions we'd like to fill. But for FY 2021, we will only fill one position, and that is an attorney for step 3. So the social worker, as the executive director mentioned, it was funded for this fiscal year. We show it in our proposed staffing pattern within the budget document, but we're not going to fill that position until we know what our finances look like in 2020 as well as in 2021. And we really expect that there may be cuts We would like to ask for the entire budget that we're proposing and have the legislature cut what may be possible in 2021 as well as 2020. So we had asked for, we have in recruitment under the director's office, we have a social worker. And then if you move on, we also have a position in recruitment for an attorney in the attorney section. And then in the office, the legal secretary section, we have a legal secretary 1 that is in recruitment for this fiscal year, and we're holding off on that position, and we'll hold off on that position in FY 2021, but it's also in the proposed staffing pattern, but it's not added to the total. And so right now we have an office aide underfilling a legal secretary 1 position. In our legal clerk section, we have a legal clerk 1 position that's in recruitment that again, we will not fill in FY 2020, nor will we try to fill that in FY 2021, but we're just keeping that on the books. So it shows that those are positions we would like to fill. Right now for the legal clerk 1, we haven't filled that, and we haven't filled an office aide position. We have an LTA sitting in that position, and we'll just, being that they're an LTA, we've had this person start with us probably this summer, and we'd like that person to, the one advantage, well, that person will sit in that position for a year, but the advantage of us having it that position as an LTA is they don't get the increments, nor do they get the bonuses that we would like, if there was merit bonuses that we're offering. So those are the positions we have in our staffing pattern in the current and proposed that if we were to fill, you'll find it in the pages when you thumb through those are in recruitment. So that's in personnel services, and on the screen, you'll see we budgeted $3,343,820 for an increase of $212,733. That includes merit bonuses below. It would include the, what we're including is the benefits, our medical, our health, retirement. So that's the total of 4.5. Okay, now for the contractual for operations, we provided the footnotes yesterday to you folks with APDs, and it's also in 96A, but the 96A also needs to be updated, and we'll have that all in a completed document that we send as our final. But the first section is malpractice insurance, that under contractual. So if you had the footnotes, you would see, and you can refer to the footnotes in your budget digest, in the budget document.
What page is that?
Yeah, but we've made some changes. I'll give that to you right now, sir.
Right.
The footnotes came in a separate email to you yesterday afternoon with APDs.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And JT has that on the screen, but would you like us to, the footnotes?
JT,
JT, would you like to?
Go ahead and share it, JT.
It's the budget digest summary 1 and 2.
If he's having issues, I can pull it. So are we talking about this document?
Yes.
Okay.
That's APDs though.
Right, APDs and
Yeah, and we have ours that we also attached yesterday.
okay.
They were 2 separate documents.
Maybe it's 2 separate documents. I didn't save that. I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
It's okay. JT has it.
Let me, one moment.
How about, is it this? No, this is the same one, right? Budget digest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know there were 2 different documents.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Yeah.
Let me get to it.
But it was sent out to all of the board members yesterday.
Yes, Kathy, this is QB. I did receive it. I know it was 2 separate documents, but it was on the same email.
So you could pull that out, Cubes, right now if you take a look at it.
Yes, I have it. I printed it out too.
Good job, QP.
So this one, the budget digest, this one,
No,
that's
Yeah.
the one, right?
yeah, that's it. That's it. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. I'm just opening it first and then I'll see if I can share it. Okay, got it. Go back to Zoom and then I want to share screen. Yes. And,
It's right there to the left, right there.
okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So now going to the, under operations,
Yes,
and
I have that.
it coincides with the summary. We're asking for our
Wait, just let me go to the view and turn off your navigation pane.
Okay. Go to my view and turn off the navigation.
Yeah, that way you don't have all this other stuff on the right side of your document. Or just close this.
Okay.
You know, you can close the right side.
Arrow.
the other stuff
The right.
on the right side, all those,
Oh, okay.
all that stuff that
Yeah.
shows on the right. There you go.
Okay.
Perfect. So
Yeah.
going down to number 2, JT, go down,
Okay.
operations.
Mhm.
Okay?
Yeah,
So-
I got it.
Within the budget, we have malpractice insurance, and that's for all our attorneys as well as investigators. For malpractice insurance of $9,050. Westlaw, that is $29,886. That's for, we have 14 users for Westlaw. The lease of 2 vehicles, we use that for our process server as well as our investigator. We have 2 cars that we lease. Vehicle insurance, which is separate from the lease at $2,800. The next bullet is communication services for telephone, internet, and internet system. This is with PDS, right? Pacific Data System. That's what we pay. Service for our surveillance camera. We have 2 cameras in the front and in the back. We pay G4S $1,440. Contents insurance for our building. Say anything happened to our building, that we pay $2,420. Lease maintenance for supplies for Xerox copiers. We have 2 big machines and 3 smaller ones. Our lease agreement with them is $17,467. Notary bondings, that's for our secretaries and investigators. We have that at $3,400. Equipment maintenance for our shredder. We have a large shredder in our records department. If anything happens, we put money aside at $1,500. Equipment maintenance for archiving, that's our Laserfish. We put everything on Laserfish, as well as our case management system called Abacus, but the Laserfish is $3,600. When we close files, we put them on Laserfish. Equipment maintenance for office equipment, that would be like, we have 2 machines for the stamp receive. We set aside money, say anything happens to our automatic stamp receive, we put $1,750 aside. Support for our general ledger accounting software, which is QuickBooks. Technical support, we pay $2,000 a year. Additional license for our accounting software, QuickBooks at $1,045. Bamboo HR, which is our software platform for our HR as well as our payroll. All our employees are able to access their HR and payroll information on Bamboo HR. So that's for 56 users, and it's $6,081. Offsite data backup solution service online, that's Carbonite, but we pay $6,000 for that. Annual renewal for our recorder software, Sonic Clear. That's the instrument we have on our conference room table. For those of you folks who come in, we have a mic, and we use that for our board meetings. So that's the software for Sonic Clear at $400. Our firewall security service for Sonicware is $2,500. Abacus license and maintenance, that is $29,370. And we have close to 55 users within our office who use our case management system called Abacus. Our internet domain, so that we protect, pdsc.org, is at $1,500. Our email website hosting at $6,000. Next page, annual renewal of our archive software at $4,000, which is the Laserfish software. ShoreTel software hardware, that's $6,000. Uptrust is a new software package or SMS that we got a grant. Stephen chime in. I think that the annual cost for this UpTrust was
Well,
20,000.
we were quoted about 25,000 about 6 months ago, and then the provider UpTrust received a federal grant, and they're allowing us to do it for 5,000 a year. So what UpTrust does is it's basically a texting service so that we can text all our clients, like when they have hearings, when they have appointments. If they miss an appointment and a hearing and there's a bench warrant, we could notify them as well. We've been running it a month before the whole coronavirus. So, but we're hoping to get that into effect. I think some courts across the country are using it now too. So, but we're trying to use it for our clients to reduce notice to appears on bench warrants, and that's $5,000.
Okay, so that's UpTrust and that's new, and it would message all our clients when they have appointments or they need to be at court. An expert witness.
Willing, but yeah.
Someone's got back feed. Okay, expert witness for analysis consultation. We wanted to have money available so that if we had to hire an expert witness for our cases and trials, we would like to set aside $22,500. And in yellow, I highlight that for the fact that while the amount just for contractual services shows a percentage increase of 148%, which is 32,402 in the summary that I showed earlier. We just want to say that the reason why it looks so large is the fact that we didn't get fully funded for last fiscal year in terms of we had to cut operations to make up for personnel costs. So shuffling around money from operations up to personnel, that's why the amount looks so high with operations, right? So moving on to utilities, we don't pay, we'll go into office rental. We're at our extreme max in this office. When we renewed our contract with MVP in 2016, we had negotiated lower rent with more space, but now there's no space, not unless we can move out the court next door. That would be the ideal situation with their records. But if we needed office spaces, if we grow, we would need 21,888, and that's for 1,000 square footage next door at the complex. Supplies at 7,976 for supplies and materials. This is small supplies that we need. Small equipment. We have to replace
Kathy, before you proceed, let me just say that just for planning purposes, the judiciary does intend to downsize that storage space, if not move out completely. And we're in the process of renovating the Route 4 building, the old Epicure building. And the A&E plans are in the final stages. And so the mezzanine level, people are not familiar with that building. There is a mezzanine level in that old Epicure. We refer to it as the Route 4 building. We're going to use that instead of office space as our storage space. And so, and we're trying to complete that by the end of December. And so there may be opportunities for PD to expand on the same level in the same building because we have a substantial space in that, as you know, in the storage area. So just FYI for planning purposes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you. Now we're going to small equipment. We have replaced obsolete workstations. I know that 20,000 seems high, but for 56 employees, we replace our equipment every 5 years. It's 10 workstations every 5 years. So we just keep this schedule on our budget so that we can replace, and by the time the first group 5 years previous, then it goes back around. So we keep that on our books at 20,000. Replace battery backups, that's still the same for 10. We do 10 for every 5 years. And again, remember 56 employees. So we've got that rotation for replacement of battery backups. External drives, we have budgeted 2,000 for 56 employees. Well, not all 56 need external drives, but we have that. Main domain storage to replace this server. This is our server that we have now. It's pretty old. I think that we haven't replaced it since 2008. So we just, we'd like to keep that budget in. Then the virtual server, that's 10,000 for the cloud. We'd like to have some of our, and we have a whole lot of information. We keep up, we have a retention policy for our records, but we have a lot of clients and we need server space. And so we're hoping that we can also use the cloud. So that's for small equipment. For drug testing, we have $57 set aside. We hope not to hire. We have that one attorney.
Before you move on, let me talk about, ask some questions about this virtual server and try and coordinate in reference to what the judiciary is embarking on. We're going to, on the Supreme Court, we're starting our virtual appellate arguments. We're going to have a virtual court. And we're going to roll that out on May 1st with our first appellate argument and not wait for the government of Guam to reopen. And also we feel that this is something that we need to have the capacity to do in the future. So that's all in the process. And yesterday, the presiding judge and I had a robes meeting. And so we formed a committee to do a virtual court hearings. And the PJ pointed out also that, you know, we need the public defender and the prosecutor and the private bar to be engaged. And so the trial court is going to be a lot more difficult. It's a lot more challenging, but we're building the platform to engage in these virtual hearings. And so Judge Barcinas, Danielle Rossetti, and Alicia Limtiaco are heading a committee in which, you know, we're going to ask Jackie also to have a participation in reference to the private bar. And Steve, you need to designate someone to work with the committee, and because we're going to ask Levin. And the purpose is to identify the type of cases that would lend itself to our virtual hearing courtrooms. And because we're wanting to reopen the court, hopefully sooner rather than later, and not just have essential services with telephonic means and limited video conferencing. And that's why we've invested in the Zoom platform, and we training people, expanding, so that Justice Torres and I were just on a webinar with the National Center for State Court, in which there were 50 appellate justices from Supreme Court and Court of Appeals. 500 that participated in the webinar this morning, because everyone is getting on the bandwagon to embark on these type of alternative format. And so the reason I raise it at this time is because I'd like, and for the PD and the APD to build into their budget using the Zoom platform, getting the enterprise license, and plan for it. Because what's the use for us to have the hearing if you don't have on your end the capability for your lawyers to participate? Now, it allows them to participate at home or in the office. Social distancing is going to continue through the end of the year. I participate in a weekly meeting with the governor and the speaker, and that's the direction that we're going. And so you need, Steve, I'm going to unmute you, because I would like for you to plan that public defender and APD have the capability to participate in virtual hearings through the Zoom platform. And I'm just using this as, I have this down in my notes to bring up. And I think it's a good time to raise this. And if there's anything in the budget that we need to accommodate, plan for, and now's the time. I know it's just springing it on you last minute, but as we all know, it's such a dynamic circumstance that we live in, and it changes daily. So,
Your Honor, so we are making arrangements to have computers with cameras brought to Agana lockup, the female facility, DYA, as well as Manila. So hopefully we'll be able to at least have Skype or Zoom communications with our confined clients. And so we'll reach out to Alicia and see how we could piggyback on that as well. There's a federal grant. I know that I think it's a Burns JAG grant that got extra funding under the CARES Act. So there is money out there for it. Although I think they're going to use it all for PPEs.
but even Steve, your lawyers, whether it's their desktop or their laptop with the webcam capability, that's all really that's needed. If they don't have I'm here using my Surface Pro. That's how you're accessing my home, and with a webcam. And so it's not a insurmountable investment amount, but when you multiply it times 15, 16 lawyers, right now, does every lawyer in the office have a laptop with a camera?
Not everyone. Maybe JT could say maybe a handful, but we are working on procuring cameras for everybody. And so we're
Cameras
also going
to that can attach to their desktop.
Yes, Your Honor. And we're also getting digital, like MiFi spots for the prison so that we can actually do everything by video conferencing with our own clients. So we're working on that right now.
All right.
But we'll figure out where we could put it in our budget.
Okay. All right. All right. Go ahead, Kathy.
So going down to miscellaneous now, Guam bar dues, that's for all of the attorneys we have. That's their dues. Professional dues for NACDL. That's for Steve for 200. Training and or career development. We highlighted this for the fact that this is what money we use for PJC. And we haven't done it in a couple of years, but we also have, rather than our attorneys go off island for training, we've had a trainer come on Guam. We've had Lori Shanks and her husband, Terry Kindlin. The last training we did was a couple of years ago. We brought in an investigator who had worked with Lori Shanks and her husband to provide other training. So we wanted to put that back in. Advertising costs for our board meeting, and I know that the Chief Justice wants more meetings, so we need that money. Advertising costs for job announcements, should there be any announcements, we budgeted for $4,500. Advertising costs for RFPs and bids, and I know that there are some bids that we need to go back out on, and so that we set money aside for that. SHRM membership at $627, AGA membership at $105, board stipends at $3,000. Payroll fees for QuickBooks per employee is $2 per employee is $3,000. Legal subscriptions $2,100, process server fee $350. Other fees that include postage, police clearance $600, board meeting expenses $2,000, and that brings us to our miscellaneous. So that the total increase for operations is $407,529. Increase. The total increase is $407,529. And that goes with the summary that we were reviewing earlier prior to the budget diet, the footnotes.
Kathy, can you go to the very top on the personnel part? I didn't have this document, so I didn't pull it down. Just so that we can see the summary again. All right, so let me pull back, pull up, let me overwrite JT here.
Okay.
And so this is the Public Defender Service Corporation. This summary here has been updated. And so we have the bottom line in reference to what was earlier requested. So at this point, I'm going to ask if any board member has any questions for Kathy or Steve and Mike in reference to the budget. Are we prepared? I'd like to address each division's budget separately. So we have the budget of PD. If there's no questions, then what we'll do then is we'll go to the APD's budget, and then we'll take up the resolutions if there are no questions regarding any line item. So there are no questions for the PD's budget. I'm going to pull up the APD's summary, and I'm going to turn this over to Annie and Audrey. And is this a document we can work off, Annie? Let me unmute you because you're muted. Okay. Yes.
Yes, Your Honor, this is what we submitted. We had to update it. So basically for this upcoming fiscal year 2021, we have a 0 or status quo budget. The reason why we have a decrease, which would be the 5% decrease, is when certain lawyers have left the office and certain lawyers came onto the office, their salary levels were different. So that's why there is a difference in, you see the 45,212, that's what we're saving because we don't have to pay the higher amounts for different lawyers. So that's lawyers and some of the staff. So that's the big area that we saved, which would be a 5% savings. We do have 14 full-time employees. The benefits that we have, we're still at $12.48 right there. Yeah, right there. Just a slide. Yeah. And then our subtotal cost for personnel is less, 4% less, which is $43,963. 43,000, excuse me. For our operations, everything else that we have listed, they're all continuing from the previous fiscal years. Everything stayed the same. The only thing that we're adding is under supplies and materials, which would be on the next page. We are asking for an extra $1,000 for face masks, gloves, and all the COVID related stuff. We're asking for that for the upcoming fiscal year. We have already, some of our employees actually have expended their own money, and we're going to reimburse them for the different things we've had to accommodate the office for up to date. We will put in, I guess under small equipment, the Zoom capabilities. We actually do have, we're using the, what is that called? A camera, sorry. We're using a camera now, and we'll probably be getting more for the other lawyers in the office, but we do have one that everybody can use in our conference room, which is what Dre and I are using right now. I actually have one in my office. Dre has one in her office. So our costs are, we have a decrease. So we have a decrease of 42,963. We can go through the actual BD1 if you would like to, but all it will show is the decrease in the budget simply because, as I said, the lawyers that have left the office and then we hired new people, their salary differences were different because they are either lower on the pay, they are lower on the pay scale, so that's why we have a big difference in our budget. Are there any specific questions, Your Honor?
I'm opening it up to any of the board members. You know, whenever you have a decrease in your budget, there's a good, especially with the built-in statutory increases, that's a little difficult, but I understand in reference to the more senior lawyers with more government service leaving and hiring at a more junior level.
Exactly.
Result in the savings. And currently, do your lawyers have assigned laptops? Do they have laptops? Is there any purchases that have been made?
Yeah, we have for our investigators, we have 2, right? We have 3 laptops. So if needed, that's what we would use if we needed to use this for the virtual courtroom. We are able to accommodate that.
What about, you say you just have 1 webcam or 2 webcams?
Oh, no, we have 3 webcams.
And so that can transfer to desktops in the event?
Yes, Your Honor.
Most of the attorneys' desktops already have a camera installed on their computer.
Okay, that's great. That's very good to hear. So that they have the capability, and I'm hoping that you know, at the trial level that we're able to do this. There's a lot of challenges with the trial level, and with the Supreme Court, you know, we're dealing with 1 courtroom, and so it's a little more straightforward for us to roll this out. And so Annie, you should also have a presence in this committee.
Oh, yeah. What I was going to suggest is myself and Dre be on the committee, because she does all the operations, and she knows exactly what kind of cases it would be perfect for. So I was going to ask if we could both be on that committee.
Yeah, if you can contact Danielle. She's the administrative person working with Alicia and working with some assigned trial judges that are currently looking at the requirements, and then they're supposed to come up with some type of plan that the presiding judge will look at, and then once it gets his blessing, we'll go out to all the judges to review, and we have a robes meeting through the Zoom platform every 2 weeks, and so we're hoping that we can look at something by Monday of next week, but you know, I think that's being very optimistic. but contact Danielle and ask and just say that I've asked that you be on the committee.
Sounds good, Your Honor.
All right. So any questions for Audrey or Annie?
What was that?
Any questions?
Oh, questions? Yeah, question.
All right. So let me.
I have a question, Mr. Chair, CJ.
All
You
right.
know, I like, you know, masks and gloves and hand sanitizers go quickly. I think the $1,000 that was budgeted for that, I think it's kind of low. So can I increase it to 3,000 just so that, you know, they don't run out of masks in the middle of the fiscal year?
And absolutely, I think
1,000 is very low. Gosh, that's a household, huh?
Well,
You
we're
know,
being conservative, Your Honor.
well, let me give you an example of what the PJ is. You know, FEMA, we're planning on reopening, employees coming back May 4th, reopening the Judicial Center with our proper social distance protocol on May 6th. And FEMA was going out with an order about 2 weeks ago. And we ordered 1,000 just surgical masks, 200 N95s. And so we are, you know, wanting to plan, as the PJ wanted us, for the jurors, that those who come in, we provide them, and that costs us $5,000. And, of course, we're, seeking reimbursement through the federal funds, but, that required, money up front just so we could get on the FEMA bandwagon of placing these orders. So hopefully it'll come in before our May 6th opening. So that 3,000, you don't have that kind of requirement in terms of, but just to give you an example, I think those masks were like it depends. Just a surgical mask. I wish Christina was on this line, but it's they're not cheap, and they're very hard to get, and we have to go in bulk purchase. And so work with the judiciary, both PD and APD, and work contact Christina, and maybe the next order that goes out, we can get it.
Okay,
Bulk
I'll
purchase.
talk to Christina.
Because I think, number one, the plan is when we reopen, we ordered through the Girl Scouts, 500 of the cloth masks. So we wanted to give each employee a mask because we're going to require it when you're in the judicial center. But I think, we should also look in providing it to the employees when they come back in.
That's what we.
And these surgical masks for clients that may not have the especially the type of clients that PD and APD deal with. We should try and be prepared to protect the employees and to protect the lawyers and to protect the indigent clients, and see what is it that we can provide, and get in terms of the bulk purchase with the judiciary if we can.
Okay.
And Your Honor, I just want to add that, so Kathy Moylan's been working on being part of that group that's going to get funded under the CARES Act. There was like 2.8 million. So she's already made a request. I'm not sure what the status is. That's why we didn't really put any money in for it. But if we do get resources through that grant, we will, of course, share with APD as well.
Yeah, we have these templates now that have been produced. And so maybe Kathleen should contact, probably Christina is the best person that Serge and a group came up with, and that we are using for recording all the employees' time, all the activities that we're seeking reimbursement, all the costs. And it's just a matter of entering it in these templates. And so hopefully, when the time comes, we're all prepared to submit what we hope can be reimbursed.
Okay, great. So we'll reach out about that. Did you say Serge? We could reach Serge, or?
Yeah, you can reach out to Serge, but yeah, Christina is the one, Barrett, our AOC, would be the person in charge. But yeah, Serge is, of course, in there helping out in everything that we do.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so if there are no further questions, I am going to pull up a new document, which is, we'll start with the resolution with the public defender. And that is the budget. This is at the very end, right?
Yeah,
Kathy?
it's on page 73.
Oops. Yeah, this is, okay, 73. All right, so we have here, the resolution relative to the approval of both the PD and the APD's fiscal year 2021 budget. Before we did that, I'm sorry, the presiding judge had a motion to amend the APD's budget to provide for a $2,000 increase, $3,000 for the PPE equipment. And at this time, PJ, you made the motion. Is there a second to the PJ's motion?
I'll second it, Your Honor. This is QB.
All right, it's been moved, seconded. Any discussion on the presiding judge's motion to increase the PPE line item from 1,000 to 3,000. There being no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
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 I will unmute Ms. Velma
Anyway,
Hi.
and Jackie. And Jackie, I'll just, okay.
I
So,
said aye.
all right.
Thanks.
We've got that recorded. We're being recorded. So it's been unanimously adopted on the amendment. All right. So now we have a resolution, which we should be appended to this resolution is the first of all, the Public Defender Service Corporation's budget as presented. And is that amount, just a minute, let me,
No, Your Honor, we have the corrected amount with the summary. I had actually given that to JT as a separate account, a separate document. The amount is less by 2,000 and it's 5131937. JT will pull it out right now.
all right. So JT, why don't you override this document?
Okay, I'm just looking for it right now to make
That's
sure this is the right one.
That is the right one.
Yeah, go ahead. Your Honor,
Yes.
for our APD, would we be able to continue to stay with the 1368 that we had for 2020?
For 20, okay, wait, let's take it at a budget at a time.
Okay, sorry.
And then we'll go down to APD.
That's ours.
All right, and again,
I keep trying to grab this.
all right, okay, JT just. All right, so we have here a resolution relative to adopting. Let's start with the Public Defender Service Corporation budget for FY 2021 in the amount of $5,131,937. And we'll let's address the PD's budget first in terms of this resolution. Is there a motion for this discussion?
Move to approve.
All right, it's been moved to adopt the PD's budget. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second it, Your Honor. This is QB.
All right, it's been moved and seconded by Attorney Cynthia QB. Any discussion on the amount to be adopted for the Public Defender Service Corporation's budget for fiscal year 2021? There being none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, it's been unanimously adopted. Now, JT, can you pull up the APDs? Is this the correct amount, Annie? I'm sorry, I didn't catch what you were trying to say.
yeah, it's
Same right there. It's right there.
it's APD.
1,000, 5,000.
No, wait.
1,005,000.
Five?
500.
Does the corrected amount
Five. That'll be 5.
Okay, wait, just a minute.
1525.
or 13?
Summary.
Audrey, write that number down and read it again. What was that? Yeah, write it in a marker or something and show it to us. Can you do that? Do you have that paper?
That's the one, right?
Isn't it?
And only because it's the audio seems to be breaking up.
1,525,615.
That's a $200,000 increase.
No. 1,000,000, just at 2,000.
1,000,002.
Just write the figure and show it on your screen. Yes, Audrey, please.
Oh. I think it's 1327615, is that correct?
Yeah, that sounds right. Okay.
You can also use the chat box.
Yeah, yeah, do it on the chat box. There you go. Right. Oh, but they don't have a. Okay, let me type in what is it that the figure is.
1327615.
Okay, hold on. 13. I'm not that fast. 1327. 1327 what?
615.
Well, that's the one, the additional 2,000 for this.
Again, you broke up 1,000,000.
1327615. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
The one
Oh, that's JT. That's just to her.
they added. Yeah.
Okay, so to everyone, the APD's figure is 1,327,615. Is that correct?
I don't think so.
Does that include the $3,000 addition that, or the $4,000 addition that was just passed to get your COVID?
2,000.
It was from 1,000 to 3,000.
So
It's
2,000.
2,000 increase, right?
A $2,000 increase, sorry about that.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
correct, yes. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so this is correct then.
Yes.
All right.
So
All
we'll
right.
change the resolution.
With the resolution, but for purposes of our action today, is to approve the APD's budget for FY 2021 in the amount of $1,327,615. Is there a motion to approve?
This is a PJ. I move to approve as amended.
All right. It's been
Second,
moved and seconded. There being no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
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 Those
Aye.
opposed, the ayes have it.
Aye.
Okay, it's been unanimously adopted. I'm going to override, and I'm going to pull up our agenda again and go back. What happened to our agenda? Here we go. Okay, let me see what happened here. I have the presiding judge as our agenda. We don't
It's a good
Not a bad
agenda.
Okay, we're gonna get the hang of this before the end of the year. All right.
There you go.
So we have approved the APD's budget. We've done the resolution. What's 4-20? That's the budget.
That was the budget. That was the resolution that you
Okay.
just approved.
All right. So we don't have any more items under new business, and
No.
there are no executive session matters to be discussed. And so at this point, I'll just open up if any of the board members have any comments, concerns, and I apologize, but I just wanted to focus in on the budget because Senator San Augustine has been really pushing the chair of the Ways and Means Committee for us to all transmit our budget. The judiciary transmitted its budget last week, Wednesday, to the legislature. And so Steve and Kathy, once we get all the documents finalized, see if we can transmit it, because they require 17 hard copies and whatever digital copies is required. And let's try and can we transmit everything by Friday?
We were looking at doing it Thursday afternoon.
All right. Okay. Very good.
Chief Justice, the only question I have is, so historically APD's budget was then sent to the Judicial Council for a vote and approval, but we're not gonna do that this year?
No, we're not. What we're going to do is the judiciary's budget is already transmitted.
Okay.
And so we are going to the resolution that we have just adopted today. And we're going to append to that both the public defender and the APD's budget. We'll sign the resolution in reference to the board approval under my signature. And do we have a board secretary? We don't have a board secretary at this point. We're not at election of officers. Right?
That's me.
All right.
It's Kathy.
Okay, Kathy, is our board secretary. All right. Okay, I you're right. And so, and then, Steve, this is your cover letter. You could, and just in reference to, just as a short summary regarding the public defender need for the full funding. I'm going to mute some people. Sorry, because there's back. And so that if you could just then, under your signature, have a cover letter transmitting the budget with the resolution and the budget detail document, and transmit that. We transmitted ours to our oversight chair, and with 17 copies as to what is the normal way of transmitting the public defender's budget that you've done in the past.
Okay, yes, Your Honor, we'll take care of that. Hopefully by the end of Thursday. Do all
The
the
only-
board members
the
have to
only-
sign the?
The only difference now is you are including the APD's budget with that transmittal. And so I think it should be under your signature and the managing, I don't know, supervising attorney of APD, I think is how we referred to Annie 10 years ago when I was still doing this. And so I don't know what your title is, Annie, but supervising attorney sounds good. Yeah. Now you're muted, so it's okay. It's
Managing attorney, supervising attorney, whatever.
all right. So whatever your appropriate title is. So you co-sign it, the cover letter with Steve. And in terms of the resolution, normally it's the chairman of the board that signs with the board secretary, just attesting that it was duly adopted at a public duly called meeting. All right.
Okay,
Your
great.
Honor, do you want us, I'll send you the revised board resolution. Do you want to do a digital signature? How would you like to sign it?
No, just
S?
we can coordinate that off of
Okay.
the air. All right, PJ, do you have anything else or any member of the board that you wish to address to our before we sign off?
No, I'd like just to welcome back our Chief Justice, Philip Carbolito, as Chairman of the Board of Trustees, and welcome back aboard Attorney Ikubi and Ms. Kanata as members. And it'll be a pleasure working with you in the coming 3 years.
Thank you, PJ.
Thank you.
Thank you, PJ, and I also, Kathy, we can have an election of officers. I don't know if that's what's called for, but we need to have a vice chair. And I think the treasurer and a secretary, but you're the board secretary. So we need to kind of affirm that for the new term of this board.
In the bylaws, the presiding judge is the vice chair and
Oh,
you're the
okay.
chair. So it's in the
That's
bylaws,
right.
so that's the
All right,
secretary.
excellent.
So-
Okay.
That's right.
So
Yeah,
we
that's
don't
correct.
have to do that. All right.
And then Mike is our finance person, so as our controller.
All right, we are all set. I thank you for that update. I don't have any other business, and at this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn, Your Honor.
All right, there's been moved, and it's been
Second.
seconded. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes duly
Aye.
been duly adopted. This meeting stands adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Be well and stay safe.
Thank you, Your
All
Honors.
right. You
Thank
too.
board
Thank you,
members.
everybody.
Yep.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Hang on.